Hi everybody, Kat here. Welcome to the channel. It is Thursday morning, December 19th, 6 days away from Christmas, and I thought, well, we're knee deep in Christmas cheer. Wouldn't it be just a great time to bring up a conspiracy theory? That's right, one that's just staring us in the face right now. And so here we go. So what I gotta say to you is that an marrow in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? What the hell am I talking about? What's an Amero? Well, about 30 years ago, there was talk on the down low and in the threads and kind of underground that there was a conspiracy brewing, and that was called the North American Union. That's right. The plan was to join up Canada, the United States, and Mexico as one unit, thereby destroying the sovereignty of all three countries and making it just one mass unit. And it's that in itself isn't much of a conspiracy. I mean, we already have a really good model for that, and that's the European Union, where all the countries are kind of under an umbrella of a communal parliament, communal system of law, and that kind of thing, and that this is what they wanted to do with North America. Reason being, and there was maps and planning that other regions of the map would be kind of sliced up into regions as well. I think maybe 10 in total, and the reasoning behind this was for the powers that be. You know, you've heard of the World Economic Forum, World Health Organization, Council of 300, the Bilderbergers, all the elites that kind of seem to be running things from the top, right? Trickle down into the people in government. The people you see are not the people that are really in charge. But anyway, so that this was the plan, that they were going to bring North America to its knees and succumb to the overlords that wanted to remove all the sovereignty between. And so what's occurred, and so there we go, the Amero. The Amero was the proposed new currency that was going to be used in the North American Union. And that's what that's about. A new currency reset as well. There was going to be a superhighway from Western Canada down all the way down the west coast of Mexico, and all of these kinds of things. In the following years, in like the 90s, don't forget, and there was a lot of contention about this, the original NAFTA agreement, North American Free Trade Agreement, there's been subsequent ones since. What it's done to Canada, and especially here in Ontario, is just gut the automotive industry. I mean, here in Ontario, we had several General Motors plants and other plants. It was thriving. It was kind of at one time, from kind of the 50s even out, the backbone of industry here, and it's been all but gutted. Some new contracts with the whole EV thing, but we know that that's just, it's a non-starter, and it's only designed to impoverish and enslave us anyway, and restrict our movement. That's what that's all about. But anyway, getting back to the free trade agreements, it's all of these processes, whether it's North American free trade agreements, agreements within the European Union, we've got the BRICS, we've got different trade consortiums, the Australasian trade agreements. Canada's got bilateral agreements with other. It's this web. But more and more, the trade agreements are being sort of not only controlled but manipulated by the people at the top above the sovereign governments. And we see this all the time, even now in Britain at the minute with their new Labour government, Keir Starmer. He is already voicing his desire, despite a vote by the public in, I think it was 2016, to leave the European Union, the whole Brexit. He's trying to tippy-toe them back in, right? And well, he hasn't even been in power a year, and the whole bloody government the whole bloody country, Great Britain, the Union is sick of him. The guy's a madman. Much like you're seeing here in Canada. If you've been following things at all, the drama surrounding Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, it's just a madness. They had a delayed budget, came out $20 billion more than they said it was going to be. Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland, who also happens to be the Deputy Prime Minister. Anyway, he turfed her on a so-called, I think, online conference call. He just said, no, Zoom, you're out of here. This is what we've heard now. In my opinion, they both belong in jail. They do. The corruption in the Trudeau government is at peak madness. It really is. And don't forget, Chrystia Freeland was the one during the Freedom Convoy in Ottawa in 22, the peaceful truckers' protests that Trudeau had to squash by bringing in the RCMP and the horses and the tear gas and the shields, and just he created the violence. And then it was Chrystia Freeland that made the decision, cackling like a witch, that she was going to freeze the bank accounts of anybody involved, or if you sent $20 to the truckers, to Canada, Free Canada, they could garnish your not just your bank account. They shut people down. There are court cases that are still in the process now. The consensus from the Supreme Court down has been that Trudeau acted unconstitutionally and illegally. So where are the handcuffs, guys? No, it's still happening. Trudeau is an absolute lunatic. He has, in 9 years, ruined this country. He no longer has the support of his own caucus, let alone the rest of the country. And there's only the wisp of a couple of technicalities that are keeping him in power at the minute. Well, so back to our conspiracy theory. What's this got to do with a North American Union, talk of a North American Union 30 years ago. Well, everybody contested it. People said, we're not going to do it, not going to happen, not on our watch. We know it's not going to happen. So, just saying, because, this is how these kind of things work, but we're just guessing. There's a little thing called problem, reaction, solution. They've got a problem. They've got to consolidate power. The solution is to remove sovereignty and batch countries up like they've done in the European Union. But how do you get there when the people don't want you to do it? And what's going to happen? Well, they took little baby steps. They've got some free trade going on, free trade commitments, free trade agreements that are in place still to this day. You've got Canada just on the verge of collapse with a prime minister that nobody wants, but he refuses to go, and he's propped up by one corrupt leader of the NDP party who's just looking for a couple $1 million payout. If we can hang on just a few more weeks, the guy's in the chips. He doesn't care about Canadians. So now what happens? You have Trump in the States, right? Who is an enigmatic force all his own second time around. Some people will say, he was, this is actually his third term. Q people will say he's been in charge behind the scene the whole time. This was planned for. But here's the twist. And along comes Elon Musk, who's got all the money in the world. Lots of power with his rockets and his internet and his, And he's now a key influencer with Trump. And amidst all the drama and chaos up here, across the border from the States, and don't forget unmitigated movement of humans that shouldn't be happening across the Canadian-American border. That's a concern for Trump. And so Trump said, hey, if you don't sort out your border, I'm going to slap some tariffs on you. Now, Canada took it to say Trump is going to slap tariffs on it, so we've got to be reactionary. We'll come out swinging, and he's not going to tell us what to do. I mean, such a weak position it is. It's really quite ridiculous. They want to pick a fight with Trump. When all that, sort out your border, close the border, don't let illegals in, stop the movement of illegal people in and out of your border. That's Canadians want that too. That's nothing, So Trump is now tweeting, and we know he's had some pretty famous tweets over the year. Well, I should say X. Is he Xing, I guess, some comments saying that, if Canada's in such rough shape that any tariffs we impose on them is going to break the country, maybe they should just go ahead and be our 51st state. And he's saying, we do the health care, and in one tweet he actually laid out conditions of this. There are Canadians, especially from the West, that are saying, that's a deal. We'd take that deal. We'd take that deal to get out of this mess and get out of under the control of this maniac, Justin Trudeau. About 30% of Canadians would say, yeah, things are so bad up here right now. Yeah, we do it. So is Trump serious, or is this a hoax? Canadians' reaction, what do you make of that? Is it a beta test from the powers that be saying, okay, they wouldn't bite 30 years ago. Problem, reaction, solution. We created the problem, how to get them to, how to consolidate power. So our reaction is to just destroy society to the point where that you bring along a savior, and they'll say, yes, we'll join you. Yes, we'll join the states. Yes, anything to get us out of this. They be begging for what you wanted to do in the first place. And we're seeing it in action. Now, am I over baking the pudding? Am I over egging the pudding? Maybe. But when you've seen this before, and you're seeing it again now, he's just throwing it out there. Canada should be the 51st state, and people are going, yeah, I'd take it. People would sign up for it. Exactly what the conspiracy theory was over 30 years ago, that they wanted to consolidate power and merge the country into more manageable units to precipitate a world government and make it much easier to attain. So are we on the doorstep of that? Is this just lively banter online? Or are they sliding the agenda back in now that people would be willing to accept it? I don't know. You better watch out. We gotta watch this closely and see what's happening. This could be real. It's pretty wild. So I want to know what you think about all this. Like, subscribe, leave me a comment, share this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.